Hamilton Church for the week. And without any further ado, here's our pastor, Dave Kettleson.
Hey, welcome everyone. Glad you're joining us today at Tuesday. And I have a very special guest with us. His name is Michael Allfield, and I've known him for a while. He's one of my neighbors right down the street, so to speak. And Michael, we're glad that you've joined us today. This is just kind of a casual, just get to know our members and those who watch our webcast. Tell us a little bit about Michael Allfield.
Well, Michael was born in California and reared in West Virginia. My father was killed when I was 3 weeks old, so my mother had to move back to West Virginia to live with her parents, my grandparents. And I spent my early years living with them. Grew up there, ended up coming south. When my sister moved down here to go to Southern, came down, lived with her, met my wife, Pam, who I believe is watching this podcast from the other room. So,
Neat.
Well, I have to be careful what I say, because if I say anything wrong, she's going to come out here and beat me upside the head in front of everybody. So,
Live from Michael's house. Live from Michael's house, you can see Pam beating up on Michael. This is going to be a good episode. I can tell you now.
Brian Van.
Yeah. So she and I were married on Thanksgiving Day. It will be 45 years ago. This coming November 27th.
Awesome.
We have 2 children who both live in the area. Each of our children, Sean has 3 children. Stephanie has 3 that are living. We had 1 grandchild, Matthew, who died at birth. So when I actually say we have 7 grandchildren, and we have an 8th by marriage. So we feel very blessed. You know, I've always told people the only problem with grandchildren is the best thing since sliced bread, but you have to have kids to get them. So, and that can be a challenge at times. But
that's right.
I work in the food industry. I've been in the food industry all of my life. I started out as a bag boy at a grocery store in West Virginia, and became a front end manager. And then when I came down here, I went to work while I was going to school at Southern for College Sale Distributors, and ended up there for 14 years. Went to Sovex, which was part of McKee Foods, for another 14 years, and left there and went to a company in Atlanta, which is where I still am, and been there 22 years. So if you add all those together, plus figuring I was in school, you can tell I'm quite old.
You're not that old.
Yeah.
You know, thinking about grandkids too. I've got grandkids, and I thought, man, knowing how wonderful they are, I should have started with them first.
Yes, isn't that the truth? So,
tell us a little bit about you. You're a member at Hamilton. Tell us how you came to Hamilton, your experience there.
I actually came to Hamilton. My son, Sean, suggested I come there. He had been there a few times and had heard you preach. Said he really enjoyed it. So Pam and I started coming. We came originally to the 11 o'clock service, 11:30, I think it was at that time.
Right.
And, you know, being the fact that we were a little older than most of the people there, when they started the 10 o'clock service, it was kind of a blessing to us. It wasn't as crowded, and ended up being more people in our age group. And we just enjoy it. I totally enjoy the atmosphere. I like the music.
Nice.
I don't think Pam is as crazy about it as I am. Matter of fact, I know she's not, but I think she's gotten more used to it. And one of the things I really enjoyed was a couple of years ago when you had the Roger Hernandez series.
Yeah, that was great.
And I thought that was a high point for me for Hamilton Church, and I hope we do something like that again very soon.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. I was together with well, kind of via Zoom with Roger Hernandez at the EC3. It's Evangelism Council. And anyway, he had me do a presentation, and we'd love to have him come back. And he invited me down to the conference, the Southern Union, to share of our experience with him. So couldn't agree more. He was such a blessing. Now tell me a little bit about you got involved in a life group. Tell me how that transpired.
Yeah, I got invited to join the life group that was meeting at your house. And it was easy to make that decision because you're really close. So, and it was you and your wife, Deborah, Lance and Patricia Ellis, who have since moved to Florida to be support for their daughter. Gary and Tracy Sarver, who are still members of the group, and originally Chris Marler, and a couple other individuals, Becca.
Yeah.
I don't remember Becca's name, but we're regulars along with my wife and I. And I think after we had been meeting for about a year, we finally decided we probably needed a leader of the group. And being you were the pastor and you didn't really want anything more on your plate, I thought about it and prayed about it and said, this is something I'd really like to try to do, and made the decision to accept being the leader. And that was prior to the group deciding what books of the Bible we were going to do the first study on.
Right.
And we decided on doing Daniel and Revelation, which, after saying yes, and then the group voting on Daniel and Revelation, I basically said, okay, what did I get myself into?
You told me you read more in a couple of months than you had in like 5 years.
Yeah, I am not a big reader. I don't like to read. I never have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't comprehend things I read as well as things that I hear.
Okay.
So it's much easier for me to listen to things, to listen to the Bible on tape, but I have read a lot more in the last couple years than I've ever read before. I get up every morning and I have my prayers.
Nice.
And a lot of that anymore is at like 4:30 in the morning when I first wake up.
Michael, you actually did a really excellent job leading us out, and something that our group did that I want you to share a little bit, something around, close to this time of year, around Christmas time. What did we do? And you kind of spearheaded that.
Yeah, we, as a group, made a decision that we would reach out to a needy family in the church to help and it's been a single mother parent through divorce or other things that we've helped. To help her and her children have an enjoyable Christmas.
Right.
And what we've done it the last 4 years, I think. And we did it before the life group. And last year we actually got together with Chris Hayes' life group. And the two groups went together and helped a young lady in our church who had 2 children, and took presents to her house, got a list from the mother as to what the kids needed, what she needed, took them to the house, delivered them the year before. And actually, if you recall, Dave, you and I got our sons, your son Colin and my grandson Caden, to help us make the deliveries the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. Pam and I went Sunday evening to dinner with Caden, and he asked us if we were going to do it again this year.
Oh, that's neat.
So
we should.
It's something that I think has hit home with them.
Yeah.
I think they enjoyed doing it. It's something I really enjoy doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about time for us to reach out to people and see who we're going to do it for this year and do it again. So.
Yeah, and what we do is we'd have the list that the individual would give us, the needs for their children, and then we go to Target, and then we split up, and this is your list, this is yours, and then we'd pull together, and it was really a lot of fun. Well, Michael, I'll tell you, it's been such a blessing to be a part of this life group and those connections. Anything else you want to share with our viewers? You know, this is your opportunity, and maybe Hal has a question or two, but if you were to able to say something that you feel is important to our viewers, what would it be?
Come see us at Hamilton. Hamilton cares.
Oh.
Hamilton hugs. I guess we'll get back to hugging once the social distancing is over. But you can hug with your mind and your heart and your eyes just as well as you can hug physically.
Amen.
It's an enjoyable place to be. It's a welcoming group of people. You know, one of the best friends I have in church is a gentleman, Dave Naughton, who lives in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he and I communicate regularly via text. I look forward to seeing him every Sabbath morning. He drives up from Atlanta to come to the 10 o'clock service. The other thing that, you know, Pam and I made a decision probably, what was it, 6-8 weeks ago to start joining your group for the Tuesday evening dinners.
Yes.
Because of Pam's liver transplant surgery 6 years ago. And I have to add this day because if I don't, I will get hit.
Uh-oh.
Pam always wants me to make sure I tell people that she had to have her liver transplant due to autoimmune hepatitis that she never had to drink a day in her life.
Wow.
So that's important for me to get in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you said safety. I'm glad you said that because that's not why I'm going to have my liver changed someday. Yeah, a lot of bad decisions are why I'll probably have to have mine changed. But other than that,
but you know, we waited quite a while before we started to come because of the concern I had, you know, of exposing her to the virus.
Of course, yeah.
But I think as a group, we have a lot of people there. Everybody is cognizant of social distancing and wearing the face mask, and some people actually wear the gloves, vinyl gloves, to help serve the meals. And, you know, we've gotten, and Hal can speak more to this a lot clearer than I can. We're up to right now, over 1,000 meals a month.
Yes.
It's not going to surprise me if soon that number grows to 1,200 or more. It's a rotating menu that includes, you know, hot dogs, hamburgers, pizza, burritos, a barbecue,
lasagna,
and other things. And we've got to meet a lot of interesting people. And from that, you know, a couple of weeks ago, the decision was made by the leadership group for the Tuesday night dinners to reach out to the people who were coming to ask them what else we could do for them. And one of the things that was at the top of the list was an English as a second language class. And that, I believe, has either begun or will begin this coming Sunday night, David. Is that correct?
It already started last Sunday.
Okay. All right, great.
2 nights ago. Yep.
How many people showed up?
I think 5.
I'm not sure. 5
or 6. I will have to check with Bob Clayton, who's spearheading this, and such a dynamic. He's been a great help to this. But yeah.
Hey, Michael, I want to ask you a question because it's been I thought it was longer than 8 weeks you'd been with us. It seems like it's been a while, but because there was something I saw very cool with both you and Pam was you had heard about Tuesday nights. You had been wanting to get involved, but you'd heard all about it. But what was it like when you first got there? And the reason I ask is you've come once and you've never missed a Tuesday night since. What was that reaction of actually being there like for you?
It was fantastic, Hal. I mean, the people who are there, who come early to prepare the meals, my hat's off to them because they're all taking time out of their schedules. Some of them are coming directly there from work. Each of them have their own challenges to be there. Ashley is there almost every week. I know that. I know Renita is there, housewife almost every week to help prepare. And then there are other people who come and help prepare the meals. But it was just a great feeling when we got there, and it was just, okay, what can we do to help?
Mm.
It was nothing more than that. It's just, okay, what do y'all need us to do? And I've got my middle grandson, Caleb, who comes with us. He'll actually be there tonight. His mom has kind of limited him to every other week so he can make sure he concentrates on his schoolwork, which is important to him and her and me. So he gets to come every other week, and he will be there tonight. And he enjoys, he helps, and he'll make runs back to the kitchen and help bring the food down. And then he'll go off sometimes in the sanctuary and just be by himself and do what he does. But
Well,
I
Michael,
think it's important.
It is. It's so important. I know too, you have made some connections out there in the community, and I know that you're always thinking about those things. But one night you brought, I don't know how much it was, but it was from a barbecue place. Tell us about that.
It was actually 50 pounds of barbecue. When I was talking with people, Hal and the other folks, I said, actually, I think the first person I mentioned it to was Ashley, and she said, "Well, I'm not going to cook 50 pounds of barbecue." So I said, "Wait, Ashley, you won't have to. I'll see if we can't get somebody to either donate it or give it to us at a reduced cost." So we ended up with the Second Avenue, but from that, we've developed a letter that was written over Pastor Dave's signature that Bob Clayton and I are going to be taking to other businesses and restaurants around the area to ask for their support and assistance in doing the Tuesday night meals. We're going to make it available to them to have their people be there with us. If they so desire, they can bring a banner to advertise their business, and hopefully from that make connections with people who might want to come and eat at their establishment. Because one of the things that's been really interesting to me is the number of people who drive up for the sole purpose of giving us cash donations to support
Isn't that cool?
the outreach.
Yeah,
They don't want a meal. They just want to say, "Hey, we really appreciate what you're doing, and oh, by the way, here's some money to help support you."
Michael, I got a funny story about that. I remember when we first started going, and we were doing 40 and 50 cars a week. We were out there second or third week, and someone came up to Dave and tried to give him like $20. Dave's like, "No, we don't want your money. We don't want your money." And "Are you sure?" He goes, "Yeah. I mean, because he was trying to give some money." And the guy drove off, and I pulled Dave off to the side, like, "What's wrong with you?" We're not out there to receive money, but when someone is inspired by seeing God work and they want to donate, that's letting God let them be involved with it. So, and I've said from the beginning, and you know this, that the people I think we truly minister to are the ones that drive by and honk, because those are the ones that get excited to see something happening, and they'll go to their church and do something, or they'll do something in the community. And that's the spider web that God gets to spin off of this. We got 2 other churches now doing Tuesday night programs because they saw, or just week meal programs because they saw us doing it. And that's the way God works. It's not just about the people that drive up; it's about the people that drive by too.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that. How haven't we seen some other churches do the same thing we're doing in the area?
Yeah, there's a Methodist church over Noodlewa, and then another church off the East Brainerd. Now they're not doing Tuesday nights, but they're doing other nights, or once a lunch. But yeah, they're doing the same thing. They're just providing free meals. And they saw what we were doing and decided, that's something we can do that will help our community. So that's the impact God has had by using Hamilton as this little tool.
Right.
Yeah. In fact, we had one of the individuals that is a part of that come and talk to us and get some pointers. And boy, it's really neat to see them doing that. I have not received
It's
any
also
money
interesting.
sent.
It's also interesting that some of the people who come actually come early and help us set up.
Wow, that's cool.
Oh, our buddy Doyle is out
Doyle,
there
that's
almost
right.
every week, you know.
Yeah.
That's neat. Yeah, we meet all kinds, like Rufus, who's homeless, and he called me again this past week. And so keeping that connection. I hate missing Tuesday night. Like last week, I had a presentation I had to get ready for. And then this week, I've got school board, but I love coming because once you come one time, like you, Michael, it's hard to not come back. It's contagious. You want to see the people, you get to know them, and we're creating those relationships, and that's what's, I think, the most powerful thing of this.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, we're about here to wrap this part up. I'm so glad that you decided to join us today. I really appreciate your sharing just from your heart today. I think our viewers are going to love what you've shared. Anything you want to say in closing, and then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things going on at Hamilton.
No, I didn't lose any sleep over doing this, so that was a good thing. But no, I would just encourage people, if they've never been to Hamilton, to come one Sabbath morning to meet the folks. I will guarantee you, when you walk in the door, somebody will greet you. Somebody will make you feel at home. And no matter who you are, no matter where you are in your walk, in your life, your walk with Christ, whether you have one or not at this minute, come.
Well said.
Hopefully we can help you find that walk.
That's right. So well said. Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
This is just one testimony of many, and really appreciate Michael's insight onto his perspective of what Hamilton is. It's not for everyone, but for those who claim Hamilton as their church, it is a loving, caring church. And we're trying to reach a class of people that other churches are not reaching. And if you're gonna try to reach people that no one else is reaching, you got to do different things. And so that's why we're doing what we're doing. I do have a few things that I want to let you know, is that the ESL classes started last Sunday. If you know anyone that is looking for English as a second language, it is free, 6:30 on Sunday evenings. Bob Clayton and his team heads this up right there at the church. So every Sunday night at 6:30. We've gotten a little bit of work done on the sign. The ground has been broken. They're going to start the foundation rather soon. I hope soon, because it's going to start getting cold eventually, even though we have warm weather now. And I'm looking forward to that sign starting to get built. And it's going to be beautiful. I'll tell you, one of the reasons I wanted a nice sign, because first impressions are so important. And as they see this sign, I wanted to create something, or us as a church, we wanted to create something that people think, wow, that's the kind of church I'd like to go to. Now, it's not all about a sign, I know that, but that invitation is a huge part of what they're going to go to next. And so there's a little waterfall, there's LED signs that we can change from a computer, and it'll look really nice. Maybe one day we'll be able to show you a kind of the artist rendition of that. November 11, which is actually tomorrow, the roof is going to be started on. At least that's what I was told. So we're hoping that will happen. And once the roof gets put on, we can start looking at all the interior. We met last night, the repair team, to talk about, okay, are we going to go with carpet squares in the foyer? Are we going to go with tile? Are we going to go with a polished concrete? So all those options, the colors, are they going to stay the same? Are we going to change any colors? So there's a lot of different things and components. We just barely met. If you have any preference or insight, this team would like to hear from you. This is your church. This is your body. You're the body. You're the church. And so we'd love to hear from you. And then the exterior on the stucco, we want to make certain that that's cleaned up and looking nice, and that kind of stains never come back. And if you have any insight onto how that can happen, let us know. We're here to listen and to help. Starting a new series coming this Sabbath. It's called Grateful. Of course, this whole month we think of Thanksgiving, and so we're wanting to keep the theme of being grateful. And the interesting thing is, one little antidote on that: if you are grateful, it's impossible to be negative or criticize. So being grateful and criticism cannot coexist. Just want you to know that. Then we have our podcast every Tuesday. We have our devotionals. We're going through Ephesians. We're in Ephesians chapter 3 right now. And so Monday through Thursday. Then, of course, Tuesday night. Now, tonight at 5:30, not 6 o'clock, 5:30, they begin serving. And if you'd like to help, come around 4:30 to help set things up. They can always use your help. We do have it set up at the entrance of our right by Shallowford, but we're directing them up toward the kitchen, and they drive by. And how long did it take for you to serve 250 meals this last Tuesday?
We were done in, I want to say it was just over 45 minutes. It was, we were in and out again this time. And if this trend continues, we're going to be upping our food count again, which is why, folks, thank you for contributing with the card donations that we have every Sabbath at the church. You guys are picking up cards and bringing food every Sabbath. Thank you. It's because of you that we're able to continue to do this. And the number of meals is going to grow here soon. So, thank you. And we pray that y'all, just keep, chugging away and being a part of this ministry.
Yeah, I love that part of I see a lot of people over there at the wall taking those little cards so that they can help. Thank you so very, very, very much. Our young people were outside. It was a beautiful day, Sabbath, outdoor Sabbath school with our director, Laura. And anyway, I went over there and hung out for a while. It was really great to see them actively involved, and it was on Joseph, and then they had crafts, and that was really neat to see. So want to make certain that our young people know that they're very active over there. Now, once we get our stairwell up, we'll be back in our building, but as long as the weather permits, they'll be outdoors. Then we have 3 services. Our 10 o'clock mass required. 11 is recommended and 12 recommended, but we have 3 services. And the recommendation from the team was that we go, from the county, is that our building's capacity is 50% or less. So we're following those guidelines. We want to make certain that people really feel safe, and especially our 10 o'clock service where masks are required. There, same message each time, so you won't miss the message. And then 11 o'clock we live stream that message. I'm not sure if I've missed anything. I think I've covered most everything, but if you ever have any questions or you want to get involved in ministry here at Hamilton, we'd love to hear from you. You can always check out our website. We try to keep things very current on our website so that you can be up to date, and you can text us, you can connect with us, call our secretary. And one of the real neat things, I think, before we go, and that is one thing that Hal, you created, and that's new to HCC. And then they text 33777. And tell me a little bit about how many people we probably have gathered from that.
Anytime that visitors come to the church, or even from following us on Facebook or some of the other social apps, we encourage you, if you want to stay connected and understand what's happening at Hamilton, all you do is type new to HCC to 3377. We've never gone a single week without people texting and joining that. What we do is that attaches you to the email once a week newsletter, comes out on Thursdays. And we also like to reach out and just say, hey, so someone from the church will give you a call, find out what it is that you're interested in or what you're looking for. If there's any way we can help or if there's anything we can tell you about us, we'd be happy to. And then from there, for the people that want to get involved or if they need help or whatever, we just, we get to know you and we see what we can do for you.
Exactly. In fact, yesterday I was walking with my extern, Andrew Corp. We always meet at the park on Mondays. And his soon-to-be wife, his fiance, she did that new to HCC, and she wants to get involved and plugged in. And so it's really working. It's really exciting to see people connecting with Hamilton and getting involved in some kind of ministry. So, and tonight is a wonderful opportunity if you can make it, or just drive through with your kids. We've had members, moms with their kids in the van, and we just give them a meal. That's what it's all about. If you can't serve, just come on out and at least experience it. So I think we've covered everything. We want to thank you for joining us today. Next week, I believe, and I don't want to say this too loud because it may not happen. He's a busy guy, but Gary Rustad, our president from our conference, Georgia Cumberland Conference, he says, I'm going to really do my best to make it this next Tuesday. So I'm hoping we will have him. Otherwise, we'll have another very special guest, or we're going to let you know all about what's going on that's current. Well, thank you for joining us, and we hope that you have a great rest of your week, and let me pray for you. Father in heaven, I want to pray for our viewers. I want to pray for their families, their children, and that this week, actually this whole month, we'll just be more and more grateful for what you've done. May we not take for granted the good things you do for us. May we focus on the blessings and those things that could frustrate us. May we just hand them over to you and move on. I just pray that you'll bless each one and their families and their children. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right. Hope you have a great week. And thank you, Michael, for being our guest today. And we hope you all have a wonderful time. May God bless you real good.